Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about why your glutes might not be growing. There might be many different reasons, many different factors. I do get a lot of ladies that ask me why their glutes aren't growing. They feel like they're doing everything right, and I know it can be so frustrating. I've been there myself. I remember at the beginning of my fitness journey, like literally trying so many different things and not really seeing results, until I later on learned what actually works for me and many women around the world, and it's helped them grow their glutes. So I literally went from this to this. It is a big difference, and I am forever continuing to grow my glutes because you can't get enough glute gains as a lady. Like, we love them glute gains. So even when I'm on my cut, which I'm on a cut at the moment, most of you know I'm doing a shred, I'm still trying to grow my glutes at the same time. You'll find how to do that in my previous video that I uploaded last week. It's something called body recomp, but if you're just solely here to find out how to grow your glutes, then I'm gonna speak to you about the best way, the most effective way possible that's worked for me and worked for so many of my clients around the world. Also guys, make sure you subscribe to my channel. It helps motivate me to keep creating amazing content for you guys to help you on your fitness journey. So do not forget to subscribe, like this video, and press the bell icon to get notifications for whenever I upload. And I literally upload a video every week, every Sunday at 3 p.m. So yeah, let's get to it. Okay, so why your glutes aren't growing. I am gonna start with my story a little bit actually. So I remember when I was many years ago when I started training, and I was literally going to the gym, doing squats and doing all the kind of workouts I thought I was supposed to be doing, but my glutes were still not growing. I felt like after a whole year, I didn't really see much growth. And then I realized that with further research and speaking to other bodybuilders, I realized that one of the things that I was doing wrong was ignoring my nutrition. I wasn't taking my nutrition into consideration at all. So I felt like that year was quite difficult because to me, it felt like I literally just did all of this for nothing because I didn't see any gains. And then I realized, wow, the power of nutrition. So I did a lot of research and I found out that, you know, you should be having more protein because protein helps your muscles grow. It helps repair your muscles, and it helps maintenance. So I wasn't actually having enough protein, and I started to have 1 gram of protein per 1 pound of body weight. So I literally weighed myself and worked out how much protein I was supposed to have. Also, I realized that I wasn't having enough calories. Now, that doesn't mean you should go and binge and just eat junk food and whatever you want. You should have nutrient dense foods. So I started having much more calories, but I was having really good food like whole foods. I was having nutrient dense foods. I was having lean meats. I was having fish, chicken, lentils, beans, yogurt. I started having protein shakes. And I started having rice, pasta, potatoes, lots of vegetables, lots of greens, but I was in a calorie surplus. So, also I was having lots of healthy fats like nuts and seeds. So in that year, I really just started taking my nutrition serious. I wanted to track my food. So I started to really calorie count. I was putting everything in my fitness pal because I wanted to make sure I'm actually hitting my protein. And I wanted to make sure that I'm actually eating more. So I made sure I was eating every 2-3 hours, and I was having really good food, and I was literally having at least 30 grams of protein with each meal, which really helped shoot my protein up. So yeah, once I done that, I noticed a big difference in my glute gains. So I cannot stress enough how important nutrition is. Don't think you can just go to the gym, do some hip thrusts, and then not be mindful about your nutrition, because you're not gonna grow your muscles. The whole thing about growing your glutes is to grow your muscles. And how you're gonna grow your muscles? By not having enough protein and having enough food. You need to feed your muscles. So it is so important to do that, so do not neglect it. Now, the second reason why your glutes may not be growing, because of the intensity of your workout. So there's this thing called progressive overload, which means the intensity of your workout. You want to make sure that you are always progressing. So you want to push yourself to go as heavy as you can. You want to challenge your glutes. You're probably not challenging your glutes by going heavier. So that means they're not getting enough stimulus to grow. Go heavier, don't be afraid. You know, if you can get around 6 to 8 reps, that's really good. If you find that you're getting around 10 to 12 reps, that means most likely you can push and go heavier. Once you see that you're getting around 6 to 8, that's the sweet spot. That's where you should keep it. And you want the last 2 reps to always be challenging. If you feel like you're not really pushing on the last 2 reps, then trust me, it's not intense enough and you need to up the intensity. There's also other things you can do to up the intensity, not just going heavier, but you can do things like supersets. But personally for glute growth, what's worked for me is pushing and going much heavier. Now, the next reason why your glutes may not be growing is because you are not consistent enough. So I've had clients in the past that will literally train with me once a week. They want to grow their glutes, but they're only training their lower body once a week. That's not enough stimulus for your glutes to grow. So you need to train a bit more. Now, I recommend training your glutes 2 to 3 times a week. I do 2 at the moment, and the reason being is because I'm on a cut and I want to keep as much muscle mass as possible and try and grow my glutes. I'm forever growing my glutes, so I can only do twice because believe me when I say my lower body days are so intense that I need rest and recovery. Like, I can't fit 3 lower body days because my legs are sore, my glutes are sore. So I literally only train lower body twice a week. If I feel like my legs and glutes aren't that sore, then I will add the 3rd day, but that means I didn't intensify it enough. So I make sure that I'm switching it up, I go heavier, I add in supersets, I make sure that my workouts are intense. So twice a week for me is enough. But it honestly depends on your schedule, but I do recommend a minimum of 2 to 3 times a week. Now, the next reason why your glutes may not be growing is because of your exercise selection. It's really important to add in a mixture of compounds and isolation moves as well. So compound exercises are when you're working more than one muscle group at a time. So things like deadlifts, squats, hip thrusts, these are compound moves. And it's really good to start with a compound move to activate your glutes. So I always start with Romanian deadlifts because I feel like I get the best glute activation before I move on to hip thrusts, because then by the time I move on to hip thrusts, I can really feel my glutes activated and really working during my workout. Personally, I would say to start with Romanian deadlifts. Some people like to start with hip thrusts. It really depends, but I like to start with that compound move. Don't neglect your isolation moves either. That's when it's really focused on that one part of the muscle. So for example, I do abductors as an isolation move. Your glutes are made of 3 parts and you want to make sure you've got a mixture of exercises that works each and every part for that round, amazing peach butt. So do not neglect any part of your glutes. Make sure you have a mixture of your compounds and your isolation moves so that you're targeting every part. Also, make sure that you have proper form, because if you don't have proper form, there's a higher risk of getting injured. And also, it might be that you're not actually working that muscle and you're kind of wasting your time. So if you need to invest in a personal trainer or do further research, then do it.